Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Well, I'm in Boston. Let's get into what is going on. So let's talk about it. I wanted to talk about the American perspective and how they see this incident with this Ngozi Fulani. Like, she changed her name to that. She was born Marlene Headley. So why are you changing your name to be more from the descendants of African background and not embracing that what you're trying to bring recognition to? Like, why does she have to do this opposition, this back and forth? And it's gotten such a negative response here in the States that one of the popular urban news channels in the States, one that I went on when the Queen passed away, I told you guys about that. And the whole idea around Meghan now being invited to be a part of a new book that is being written called Racism and the British Monarchy. This, my friends, is a momentum that Meghan Markle and her husband, her colleague husband, are trying to get going. And I would not be surprised if they had more higher profile people behind them, supporting them to get this momentum going around the British monarchy and racism. So this woman is going to be writing this book, and she is inviting Meghan to be a part of this. I think it is an abomination that you would even write such a book, because you have to look at what the British monarchy is today. You have to look at the whole idea of someone like a Meghan Markle with her background marrying into the royal family. If anything, it's definitely been a lot more culturally accepting. It is not what it was when people thought it was, I would think, a racist organization or a very archaic institution. It is evolving. It is growing with the times. And to continually to perpetuate a narrative that it is racism, and then having Meghan attached to that as the heroine of this movement of enlightenment to help break down these archaic walls, it is setting an agenda to help lift Meghan's profile to be the savior of the Black people and acceptance into something that they used to never be a part of, which we know is not really true, but in our modern day times, that's what it looks like. So I just see it from so many different places. I see it from so many different angles. With the radio, with television, with this Marlene woman. She was born Marlene, and what she was doing. It just seems, and with this Netflix documentary coming out now, and then her going to speak at this women's fund, not having a voice, and making it really appear as if it was the British family were the ones who did not allow her to be the woman that, you know, she has always been empowered to be from her own background as an actress. Like, she is trying to elevate something very negative to go against the royals. I mean, just look at the documentary that they just dropped the promo to, showing with Meghan's sad face, at times appearing to cry. It looks like they are trying to set a narrative that is going to bring down the British monarchy. And I remember people saying the British monarchy is too powerful. It's steeped in too much tradition to allow that to happen. I get that. I really do get that. However, you look at this award that they've been nominated for, the Ripple of Hope Award. It stands for people really being able to stand up against very powerful institutions to help bring them down. This is why she's getting that award. Someone who has been able to stand up against something very powerful. This is setting a tone, and it is a movement. I don't know if it will garner a lot of momentum to keep her rising up to get that popularity here in the States, but they're trying. Oh yes, they're trying. Let's listen to what was talked about on an urban radio station that I heard where they were speaking about this whole Hussey and Marlene incident.
The Hussey or whatever. You want to talk about cultural conditioning?
I was not given the answer that she wanted me to give, and so we could not move on. And it was when she said, I knew we'd get there in the end. That proved to me you were determined to prove that I had no right to British citizenship.
Lady Hussey resigned over the alleged comments, bringing an end to her 6 decades of loyal royal service. The palace deemed her comments unacceptable and her godson, Prince William, condemned them too. But Miss Fulani says there is a wider issue that needs addressing.
I just wanted to interject. How Prince William reacted to this, I think, was premature. I think, like I said in my video yesterday, you have to really look at a situation and look at it, is it really racism? Because you think about the allegations around Meghan and her bullying, they didn't do nothing about that. They just said, we're not going to release those findings, knowing full well it would show Meghan as a bully. It would show her in a very negative light. We're not going to release the bullying report, although we do know you're a bully, but we're not going to release it. You still like us? Please like us so that we don't be looked at as racist. You know, are they running scared? I don't know. I don't understand why, even if you could just redact the name so no one knows who was actually bullied, like, why is that investigation not coming to the fore? Why? But yet in this instance, they were quick to react to this woman and something that was realistically, it was not looked at as racist. And so when you prematurely act on something that is not racist, what are you doing? You are helping Meghan's narrative. You are helping to show that there is this racism out there. You are showing that racism exists within the royal family. You threw Hussey under a bus, but not looking at, maybe even having a conversation with her to see where she was coming from. I don't know, like talk to the woman. Did they? I mean, you know, this woman innocently was saying the things that she said. We know that was not racism. I mean, there are people who are blatant racism, and there are people that are just not very savvy culturally about customs and how people do things. It just seems like there was a mismatch of cultures that has been blown up to something that is really nothing. And by making this woman resign, it helped to further Meghan's narrative, in my opinion, unfortunately.
If you didn't see the photographs, you would know she was, in essence, of African descent. She was born British.
But was she? I'm still trying to confirm that, but was she? So this radio host, Joe Madison, is really going in strong, trying to validate this woman, but not really knowing anything about her and how her lies have even been coming up about not making comments about Meghan in the past, where she's clearly tweeted about Meghan in the past.
This is what I mean by cultural conditioning. And this old coot, Lady Hussey or whatever her name is, she is sitting up here having a hissy fit because, like she said, eventually I knew we'd get to where I wanted it to go. It's the same mentality of here in the United States. Why don't y'all go back to Africa? Excuse me, I was born in Arizona. Why don't y'all go back to Africa? Excuse me, I was born in California.
And it's not the same thing, because we know Marlene, this woman, she was dressed in traditional African clothing of a certain region area. That's different than when someone says to a black person in America, go back to Africa. You know, I'm culturally an American woman. I have nothing to do with any cultures in Africa except for the way I look like a descendant from Africa. Like, there's no comparison. This woman clearly wanted to bring out the historical context of where she is a descendant from, where her family is from, or what she is drawn towards. I don't know. But there's a difference. It's not the same. He is trying to create and assimilate these two different things as the same thing.
Why don't y'all go? It's the same mentality. It's just communicated differently. She had the audacity to touch her hair. Now let me tell my white brothers and sisters something. Don't you touch a black woman's hair. Oh, hell no.
Okay, you guys understand that context, right? So there's this big thing around women, black people in general, who, you know, white people will be very curious about their hair and they'll come up and touch it. And black people get offended by this because, first of all, I'm not a freak. They may look at it like, well, you're making me out to be like a freak. Like, what's with my hair that you feel like you got to touch it? Or it's the context, well, you know how much I paid to have my hair done? Speaking of which, I just had my hair done. Can you tell? Look at my little curls, my little bouncy curls. But anyway, you know, you don't touch a woman's hair because this could be like, it could fall off. Or I paid a lot of money to have this done. Like don't go there with me and my hair. That is something that's been, I guess, attached to black people, and we don't like that. I don't have a problem with it personally. I just think it shows curiosity. It's inquisitiveness. You're trying to figure out, oh, what's that feel like? Like, you know, I've never had hair like this. Let me see, what does it feel like? It's a teachable moment. Let someone touch your hair. Like, as long as they ain't going in it and scratching and pulling and and trying to go all in on your hair and mess it up, what's the problem? But that definitely is a black thing where, you know, oh, don't touch a black woman in her hair kind of a thing. It's a thing. But if you're someone like Miss Hussey, how do you know that? How do you know? And do you think she's doing it because she just has no respect for someone like that and just touch it? No, it was my view of things, innocent enough that she wanted to just see her name. But I do say that, you know, touching someone in any regard, whether it's their hair, anywhere on their body, I mean, you're not even allowed to touch the queen or hug the queen during pictures. I remember that when Michelle Obama hugged the queen, like, that's like, there's just something about not touching. And that's cultural things. Those are things that have nothing to do with marginalizing somebody. It's culturally not understanding somebody. Difference. So this guy, one of his producers on the show, he's a black guy. He was like, well, shoot, I learned early on not to touch a black woman's hair. And the host is really giving him a backlash, right? Well, hold up, Daryl. No, you can touch a black woman's hair because you're a black man. Because you might be caressing her hair. You might be trying to, you know, go on in. Like, that's different. And then the poor Daryl, he's like with mud on his face, like, okay, I'm sorry. I guess I shouldn't have said this. I mean, this host really assumes that, like, his way of looking at things is the right way. And, you know, other people don't do things right when they don't see it the way this host sees it. You know, you'll hear a little bit more. He'll talk about that.
Now, depends on how you touch it, brother. Now, if you're caressing her, you can touch her hair. Other than that, shut up. But that's not why Hussey touched the black woman's hair. Oh, let me touch this hair. That's what I'm talking about. That's cultural conditioning. That's what white folks used to do. No, really. Let me tell you something. That old coot, she went way back. See, you youngins don't realize that's why I jumped you, Daryl. That's cultural conditioning. Let me pat his hair. Let me see how coarse it is.
Now you see how he's taking that and making it into a negative? He's taking it and making it something a bad thing, rather than, why not look at it as, you know, go ahead, touch it. It's a teachable moment. Isn't that what they do to young kids when they're going into school? They put their hands in little boxes where they can't see what's inside. What's it feel like? What's it make you feel like? Touch it. What do you think it is? Is it soft? Is it hard? Is it rugged? Is it hot? Is it cold? Like, there's so much that people are learning just by touch. But why does touching something make it into a bad racist thing? It's like you take things and you want to turn it into race to fuel the narrative, rather than looking at it as a place of learning. And it's like when you know better, you do better. And it's assuming that people all know better. No, a lot of people just don't know better. People just still need to learn. And then when they do learn, they get it right and they do right. Now, it's the people that know better that don't want to do right, even when they do know, oh, that's not good. It's not okay to say, call someone the N-word. Okay, no, we don't do that. You know better, then you do better. It's the people that know you're not allowed to do something that still continue to do it. Those are the racist people. Those are the people that you can call out as being racist. Because this woman, Miss Hussey, look at her. I wonder, does she have black friends that look like this woman? Like, why, how would she even know? That was not a part of her world. She was an aide to the queen for many years. Did she really have close, intimate relationships or friends that were like this woman? It's hard to say. And I can't imagine that she was malicious and vindictive and mean and had no respect for this woman to just do what they're saying she did. I cannot look at this woman and say that. Just looking at how they're trying to do things around race here in the States, really taking the information to show people as being racist, even when really they're not being racist purposefully. It's a matter of just not knowing better, being culturally unaware, is now being looked at as being racist. That is a big mistake. And I believe that Meghan is counting on that. She's counting on the cultural differences, the ignorance of people, so that she can continue to drive her agenda of racism in America, to help elevate her as someone who has taken down a racist institution, and to help her further her brand as this big savior of royalty that has come to America.